The following program is being brought to you on the Seventh Wave Network. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit seventhwavenetwork.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the hosts or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Ready to look at health and well-being from a heart-centered approach. Welcome to Intuitive Healing with your host, Bente Hansen. Bente and her guests are intuitive practitioners that will have you understanding health and healing in a completely new manner. Now, here's your host, Bente Hansen.
And welcome to Intuitive Healing. This week, we're going to be exploring the possibility of whether or not one's full potential can be reached. You know, it's interesting. We all really, deep down inside, want to know who am I? What am I here for? And I really believe every person wants to live life to the fullest. So after the first break, my guest today, Stephen Rogers, will be exploring that sort of concept with me. But before then, I would like to share with you some of the sources that I get my information from, because nowadays, we have this wonderful medium called the Internet. And on the Internet, there is no shortage of information, news, and so forth, a great deal of which is not made readily available in the mainstream media. So last week, I spoke about some myths, and I felt that they needed to be exposed, and I shared them because they came from Dr. Bruce Lipton's book, and these came from a website, www.mercola.com, MERCOLA.com, and it's a great website if you haven't yet accessed that one. A few other websites that I would like to share with you include credence.org, CREDENCE.org, naturalnews.com, healthfreedomalliance.org. It's a mouthful, but they have good information. BrassCheckTV.org, BrassCheckTV.org. And another one I found recently is GaiaHealth.com, and that's spelled GAIA-health.com. Now, why is it that I'm recommending these different websites to you? And you can take them or leave them. It's up to you. There's no pressure. But one of the things I've learned is that we are changing so rapidly. Society is changing rapidly. And there's so much information that is made available for us that there's a lot, to me anyway, it's important to be kept informed of what's going on. And as information changes constantly, we need to be aware of what's going on, particularly if we're in the business of being well and healthy and we want to enjoy a life that's good so that we can be responsible for what happens in our lives. And a lot of what has been suppressed from the mainstream media is now available on the Internet, which is why I love it. But I'm going to share some news with you that I came across on the Internet in the last week or so. This little bit of information is from www.rense.com. And if you've heard of the Codex Alimentarius, you'll know what I'm speaking about. Apparently, and I'll explain what it means in a minute, but apparently there is an executive order number 13544, which has been signed by President Obama on June 10th, 2010. This order mandates that the U.S. is adopting Codex Alimentarius. And it's legislation which originates from the UN. And it basically begins a worldwide campaign for limiting food supply and limiting our ability to access what we would like to access. In other words, our freedom of choice looks as though it's going to be limited in some way. Over the last 5 years, many health organisations, many natural therapy groups, and many other powerful groups have allied to do what they can to stall the implementation of Codex Alimentarius, and in actual fact have put up some pretty good cases for not implementing it. But it now looks as though here in the States, Codex Alimentarius has been launched. And what it's intended to do is to bring all vitamin and mineral supplements and natural health remedies and technologies to an end. Both the CDC and the HHS can now make illegal all alternative health remedies and technologies. This bill renders all alternative health remedies unscientific and not provable by the FDA. According to some opponents of this legislation, this is a huge step towards what's called population control, and which will give pharmaceuticals full control over the health of all individuals. And it's also recommended, if you do want to read up on this executive order, use startpage.com, startpage.com. Don't go to Google, because apparently Google keeps records of your inquiries and sends all of your inquiries to the NSA. Yeah. And the truth shall set you free. There's a lot to be said for that. So if you're one of those individuals who has a vested interest in keeping yourself healthy and in taking responsibility for your health, you need to be aware that there are things happening. There are things happening that are going to limit your ability to do just this.